he has some female inside him. Then I call it maybe by mistake he get the system, the engine, by mistake. That I use that word. Maybe it was by mistake. It's supposed to become a woman. You get the point? So it was existing there. People like that, they've been there in Africa. So what is the problem now? The problem now, it is to make people aware. They know it. They let it be because it's a problem of the bedroom. It's not a problem of a public.
The problem of the bedroom. Whoa.
Yes.
The problem,
it's a problem of bedroom. Okay. It is not a problem of public. Whereby you see a man, you have to dress and to do. Maybe if how come it means I have a question. To be a lesbian, you have to walk like a man.
Why?
You have to be
no, that's not true.
Why do you have to walk like a man to be a lesbian?
That's not true, Professor J. That's not true.
That means you're lesbian.
No, it does not mean that. No,
that means lesbian.
No. You have that wrong.
Hold on. I'm asking you the same question.
That just means that the person that
the misinformation.
I
spreading misinformation.
Please, is my question. Please. Wow. To be a lesbian, is it to cut your hair, to remove a eyelash?
No, not necessarily.
No.
That's to mean you are gay?
No.
There are some.
Professor J, you're totally wrong.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm asking a question. It's a question. You have to answer me. It's a question.
I'm answering. You're wrong.
To be a gay. Hold on. To be a gay, is it you have to be with a eyelash? You have to wear female clothes that shows that you are gay?
No. There is no rule book how to be gay. There is no rule book on how people must appear gay. There's no rule at all. And before we continue, just hold on 1 second. Hey Phil, hey Raskin.
Hi, yes.
Hi.
Are you for the motion or against the motion? Let's know before we continue. For, against.
I didn't hear that.
Are you for the motion or against the motion? Are you for the agenda or against the agenda? Apparently, there's an agenda. I didn't know anything about.
Oh, there's an agenda? Really?
Yeah. There's an agenda.
I'm wondering what agenda that is.
The agenda is to make everyone gay.
Oh no, there's no agenda for that.
Listen, I definitely have an agenda.
That is an
I wonder where
I have one question. My question is one. Is to be lesbian or to be a gay? It is a feelings, right?
It's more than feelings.
It's what?
Too. It has to do, yes, emotions. Somebody is attracted to.
Hold on, brother. I'm straight. I have a feelings of a woman. You get? I want a woman. I'm straight.
Yeah, but some people have the feelings of wanting to, or are attracted to the same sex. I'm just correcting.
Philip or what? I don't know. Philip, let me finish my question. I'm a straight guy, right? I have a feeling of a woman, a female means opposite sex, right? Example, you are a man, you're born biologically, you're born a man. You have a feeling of another man. It's a feeling.
No. Stop. Man, woman is a social construct, not biological. That's where you're wrong.
Come again.
It's a social construct, not biological. You're mixing up male, female, and the definition of male, female in biology is the size of the gametes. The sperm and the if you have a small gamete, it's considered male. If it's a large gamete, it's female.
Simple question to you. If you born the way you say female or male, you have a male organ.
Not male organ. That does not define a male, not in biology. And do you know that in some species they are intersex? It doesn't work the way that you always think it is. Right? There's more
Until now,
to it.
you're not yet to give me your correct answer. You're still
No, you don't. I'm not giving you an answer that you want. I am giving the answer that biology gives for biology, for the science.
What are you looking for exactly?
We are online. So my question to you was one. I need to answer it. To be a lesbian, you have to bounce. You have to be bouncing like a man. You want to be like a man, or you want to be how?
No, that's not what lesbian means. Sorry, no. It just means that you like the same another of the same sex.
What?
Okay, can I
There's nothing to do with that.
Can I just say something here? So when you talk about lesbians, because it looks like Prof, you think that lesbians have to dress like a man, have to the mannerisms have to be like
not
a man.
What I think, what I see in the street.
What you see. Okay. Do you know anything about femmes?
Femmes?
Yes. FEMME.
Okay. I can look
You ever heard of that before?
Spell it.
FEMME.
Femmes, like luxuries.
FEMME. Okay. Have you ever heard of lipstick lesbian?
I never hear. Maybe I can learn from you.
Now, there are different kind of lesbians. Many different kind of lesbians. There is not one way to be a lesbian. There is not one particular way that a lesbian must.
Femme is like a lesbian who appearance and
I think, Roger, you are.
Hang on, Phil. Hang on. It looks like he has found it. Did you find it in the dictionary or something?
I have the Oxford here.
Can you please tell me, what does it say?
A lesbian, those appearance and behaviors are seen as a traditionally feminine.
Okay. So a femme is a lesbian, but looks absolutely nothing like what you've just described.
Informer, it is a woman. Informer, woman.
Yeah, but a femme.
A female or a feminine.
A femme looks absolutely nothing like what you have described as a lesbian.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone want to add to this, please?
I would like
lesbian just means that it's a female, well, quote unquote, female who is attracted to another female. That's all it is.
Yes.
Right?
Perfect.
Or the same, rather, in that sense. But you might have some females that might have the might be more masculine, right? Than others, and those females will still they might like their own sex, right? The female, right? But it has nothing to do with how you dress. That is not what lesbian means, Mr.
You said that's attractive, right?
Hold on. Can I just ask, Brahman, what's that you have at the back there?
I'm so happy you asked.
I need to know what that is.
So it's chapter 11 of this book called The Spirit of Intimacy, Ancient Teachings and the Ways of Relationships by Sabon Fusome. Sabon Fusome was she passed away, but she was a Dagara woman from Burkina Faso in West Africa.
Oh, wow.
And the book is about the role of ritual in the everyday lives, but chapter 11, which I have posted behind me, is called Homosexuality, the Gatekeepers. And it starts because she writes about it from her culture. She grew up in the village, was initiated into the traditional spiritual system of the Dagra people. And she wrote this book in the 90s. Even in America, it wasn't a very... the Dagra.
Dagara.
Yeah, Dagara.
Dagara. Okay.
Yeah.
Dagara. I know about.
She starts the chapter. She starts the chapter saying the words "gay" and "lesbian" do not exist in the village, but there is the word "gatekeeper." Gatekeepers are people who live a life at the edge between two worlds: the world of the village and the world of spirit. Though they do not marry in this world, they say they have partners in other dimensions. What they do, they don't like to communicate to anyone. It is their right to keep it to themselves. Everybody in the village respects that because without gatekeepers, there's no access to other worlds. Most people in the West define themselves and others by sexual orientation. This way of looking at gatekeepers will kill the spirit of the gatekeeper. Gatekeepers in the village are able to do their job simply because of strong spiritual connection and also their ability to direct their sexual energy not to other people, but to spirit. And so the chapter goes on. I don't want to take up the whole time. It's a short chapter, but basically people that we call LGBT plus in the West, in her culture and in many other cultures across Africa and across the indigenous world, understood these people to have a specific spiritual role to fulfill in the community, and they weren't viewed through the lens of their sexual orientation. Their sexual orientation was more of a byproduct of their spiritual calling, more than anything. So in the West, we identify people by sexual orientation, and you asked a question about before, like homophobia, transphobia, all those things are what's foreign to Africa. It started because of colonialism and Christianity and Islam. That's why
that was Prof's
transphobic and all that. Now,
question. Prof asked a question. Like Prof was asking that why is it that his sister is in the community? She's in the LGBTQ community. And once upon a time,
no, she's not in. Sister, let me correct properly. She's not in the community, but she born that way.
She was born a lesbian.
Lesbian, okay. The way we can use lesbian, we have another words we call it in our language.
That's like saying you're okay, but so she was born a lesbian.
But these things of community, these things of all these things, dramas, that's me. I come to feel reach in my point of my research.
We're not talking about a literal community where people are like
converging,
like communing. Like it's just that's you have a shared identity.
You're not yet catch my point. My point is, let me bring my point again. My point is,
sister's alive.
When you call it community, when you call it a group, maybe organization.
Oh, it's not an organization.
It's not an organization. It's not an organization. It is not an organization. That's like saying all Black people are part of an organization.
Okay.
An organization. As the organization, the CEO.
Afro, let me put the point. Afro, let me put the point. It can be bitter, it can be sounding in your ears wrongly, but just consume it so that we do a good conversation.
Prof, what
is it? What?
Please, give me 1 second.
I don't believe
please, hold on, everyone. Hold on. Evangelist Bola, I don't know how to put the screen. So I think you want people to see what's written on here.
Oh, great.
Grid.
Great.
Let's see what will happen. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I.
They want to see your topics.
Yeah. Comments. Flip camera. Settings.
I think you have to change.
I don't know how you do it. Let's see.
You need to change the layout.
Okay, give me one second.
You change the layer.
How do I do that?
In settings.
So would it be this way? Switch. Let's see.
So yeah, but Prof
Oh,
CJ,
okay. Okay.
I just wanted to say really quick because
I found the panel. The panel view. It says if I have only 5 people, but because I have 6, it won't work. But never mind.
Oh.
What I will do,
okay.
I will just read out what I've got up there. It says, love is love. And who people choose to love is nobody's business. No, this is me just saying that. But who people choose to love is not anyone's business.
Correct.
The LGBT people have always been and will always be in Africa. You better get with you. You better get with yourself. They're going to be there. They have always been there. The LGBT community are not your problem. You have real problems, but yet you want to focus on one. You know, to me, it's like deflecting from the real issues. Right now, we have found a topic that everyone wants to hone in on, even the degenerates too. Oh, this is bad, and this is that. We have real issues which we will not go into. Africa needs to protect its own.
Okay, my sister, this is the point I was making again.
Hold on. Let me just finish. Africa needs to protect its own, and in bracket the LGBT, not criminalize them. Criminalize your own people. LGBT is African culture. And if you disagree, if you tell me, oh, the LGBT is not African culture, then you have to produce for me the book of African culture. Let's have a look. Which one is our culture in Africa and which one is not? You have to produce, because if you don't make claims like, oh, the LGBT is not African, it's not African culture. That means you have a list of what is African culture and what isn't African culture. But if you cannot produce that to me, then shut your mouth. The last one is Jesus and God and Allah need to leave people's private parts alone. How about that?
That's a good point. I like that. So my sister, I have a question. You know, in Uganda, as I'm in Uganda, okay, we have the way I can say, you know, one thing I discover for myself on my research, that anything propagating with the United States is not welcome in Africa.
Okay, what has this got to do with the United States?
Let me show you now the point.
United States.
Let me show you the point.
Oh,
example. I give you example of my sisters down there. Even is just laughing when I'm saying. Example is in my home, my house, myself. With
no,
my
it's
sister.
not. Brahman is not a sister. Brahman is a Brahman.
Yes.
What's your? He just called you his sister. What? How do you identify Brahman?
No, I'm not talking about Brahman. I'm not talking about Brahman.
Oh, you want to talk about Brahman? Because I'm not on camera.
I'm not talking about Brahman. I'm not talking about Brahman. Afro is not Brahman. One thing I want to make here.
Leo, at some point I would need you
know, it is happened that in Africa, there have been people who born with that feeling of the same sex.
Okay.
Attraction. Okay. Someone born with that feeling of same-sex attraction. There are some people, according to the way I see from childhood, before all these things happen, I'm 40, right? But you find that some people, they've been born, okay, I'm attracting to a man, fellow man, but he never transformed himself to be something different. He has that feeling, he has just the way he born, and you feel him like morphologically he looks just like a female.
So but he was born that way though. He was
He
born
that way. He
the
grew up that
feelings.
way. It's not that he going to copy someone copy or no. It's not a copy.
Okay, thank you. You know,
He's
Prof,
original born like that.
Prof,
I observe that. I see that. I'm a proof of that.
Prof, I actually appreciate you saying that, because there are people that are convinced that people cannot be born that way, that you learn it.
You know, I
that
don't
it's
like
something
to
that
be
you learn.
full.
You go to school of the gays to go and learn.
I don't
how
like to be full.
gay.
I don't like to be full, and I don't like someone to put what he want me to believe in. I don't believe to nobody until I see in my eyes and I live it myself. Right? So the point is, I come from both two cultures. My dad was Ugandan, my mom is Congolese. So I'm two countries there. And I have the Bantu style from Africa, Congo, and from Uganda, and the Nilotics in the middle, and the Pygmy also. But the point is, there is a tradition in Africa, not in Africa. When I say Africa, let me stop the word Africa. In my village, we've been having in the ceremony of Tatao Mbekimbirikiti. A man there is some men who not supposed to be with a woman, opposite sex.
Really?
Let me open, because when I'm talking something, I ask this core community the way you say it. So that's why I was having that question.
Who are they supposed to be?
Because I have the proof of things that you guys, you just make it like a show. It's not a show.
A show?
It's not a fashion.
Wait, I don't understand. Who's making it like a show?
Who's making it like a show?
I'm so confused.
My sister, you know how it comes very aggressive in Africa, because when it comes like right now in Africa, people, they know that there is a money financing to make the kids to become lesbian, to say about it, to become gay. You know, it is what they say.
No,
Prof. No, hold on, Prof.
Break down, sister.
Prof, please. You said there is money to turn kids in Africa gay and lesbian. Yes?
Yes.
Where is this money? Who's providing the money?
Who knows?
No, you can't say who knows.
You know what I can't say though?
You don't.
My sister, I don't want to be banned.
You don't
Dear
make
sister,
a
I don't
claim.
want to be banned.
No.
If I speak things,
no.
You don't make a claim like that and then say who knows. So you don't even know.
Okay, let me bring.
You don't have no evidence.
If you don't know,
let me break it down. American came.
No,
You don't accept gay and lesbian, you're not getting found.
Please hold on. So some set of people have set aside some money to give to the Africans to say, "Oi, you here, have this money and turn your kids gay." I don't understand this. So if
it has been how many years you've never been in Africa, my sister?
Please hold on. If there is such a scheme, if there is such a an organization, something, whatever, please, I would like to know about it. I want to know who are the people involved, who is providing money, who's spending the money, what they're spending the money on, the recipients of this money. I would want to know, right? This is something we all deserve.
Let me bring it for you now.
So please, if you don't know,
American government,
brother,
let me tell you something.
Brother, if you don't know, you're just assuming. Please,
I'm not assuming anything.
I need you to say that you are making assumptions. Otherwise, you are spreading propaganda.
Listen, my sister,
you don't know.
I come, if I want to speak a little bit, I come from a diplomatic family. Okay? So when I say something, I have a reason and I have a proof of it.
Then get the proof.
Prove it.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick. I'm about to go.
The point.
Okay, Brahman, please, can you tell folks what that book is? People wanted to know what that book is.
Please, you can look this up on YouTube. It's called The Spirit of Intimacy. Okay? The Spirit of Intimacy by Sabonfu Some. You can look it up on YouTube. You can look up the chapter that I'm talking about. If you type in the name of the book, Homosexuality, the Gatekeepers, you can type in that chapter name as well, and it will come up. Someone actually reads the whole chapter on YouTube, so you don't have to buy the book to hear the chapter. But all I want to say is that there is an agenda, an American agenda in Africa, where they're sending American evangelical pastors, Christian pastors, to influence legislators like in Uganda and Nigeria and elsewhere to pass this anti-LGBT legislation.
Yeah, that is the agenda.
That is a real American influence. They know they lost the fight here, even though they haven't quit, but they are actively involved. And why do you think that those laws didn't exist before? Right?
Okay, Brahman, do you have...
I ask you a question. Why Obama can go in Africa and they try to force the people to believe what they believe?
No.
Yeah, hold on.
Why?
You didn't hear what I was saying before.
Please, hold on.
Book, right?
Hold on. I want to know, when did Obama do this, please? When did Obama go to Africa and force people to believe what he believes?
Let us go to the.
No,
can
Prof,
I go?
Prof,
can
Prof,
I play? Can
Prof,
I play it?
Prof,
Can I play it?
Prof.
Can I play it? You hear?
No. Be careful, because TikTok don't really like you playing stuff. I've played things here.
Yeah, you got banana.
So please,
the conversation.
I would no. I'm not saying I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to know where it is. Just tell me. Let me go check it out.
No. Of course, English. Yeah.
But I just want to say this last bit, and I'm gonna go. If you check out this book, it talks again. You keep thinking, Prof, of LGBT identities as just this sexual thing, and what I'm trying to tell you is that indigenous cultures across Africa had a spiritual understanding of these things and didn't see it from a sexual.
Can I tell you?
So you're not going to find the word gay or lesbian in indigenous language.
Brahma, when we talk
you talked enough, Prof. Please stop.
Yeah, Prof. Let him talk.
Let him speak.
Listen, for once, from someone that knows something that you don't. How about that? For 1 second. All I'm saying is that if you're looking for LGBT identities as part of like indigenous cultures, it's not there. What is there is people that we will call LGBT, but going by different names, going by spiritual roles, having a spiritual purpose in the community, and being identified by that purpose and not being identified by whom they're attracted to sexually. Even in America, identifying someone as gay or lesbian is a very recent thing. But in the last 100 years is when that identity came up. Because people across the world did not identify people by their sexual orientation.
Let me turn that down.
That's a new thing. So if you are constantly looking at Apple like, well, we didn't have this.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin with what he's saying.
Sorry, we were just because this when Brahman was speaking, we could hear the noise in the back, and I wanted to really hear what Brahman was saying. Brahman, I apologize. Sorry, I had to.
No, it's okay. No, I was just saying that, again, if you look at LGBT identities as a Western concept, you're partially right? But it's a new concept even in the West. If you actually look at the experiences, because LGBT people, what we call LGBT people, have always existed. They didn't always go by those terms.
Yes.
And so you being called a priest or a priestess or a gatekeeper, right, or an Olarisha or whatever, right? That's very different, being identified for your spiritual role. You're asking the wrong questions. Instead of asking what we do sexually or how we dress, you should be asking what spiritual gifts we have, right? Again, something else you can't see, but you're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on this sexual deviation, right? That is perceived, and that's not even the point. You're missing the point. We have a real role to play. And that's why you see so many pastors, so many people in the church get caught and outed, because there's so many of us in the church hiding because we have a spiritual calling. And if you're raised in a Christian country, Christianity is the only spiritual point of reference that you have. And so you get sucked into that very toxic environment that tells you that you're an abomination and that you're evil and all this other stuff. But again, that's from the colonizers' religion. Our traditional religions had understandings like this, saying that, oh, we're gatekeepers and we have a spiritual role to fulfill. We were not ostracized and forced to create a so-called community that was separate from the village and from your tribe and your people. And so if you understood that part of the history, then, and a lot of people, this is what I understand, like a lot of Africans that want to talk down on LGBT stuff didn't grow up in the village. They practice a colonizer religion. They're not practicing their traditional religion. They demonize their own traditional religion, and then want to think that they're not colonized and that their views on sexual orientation and LGBT issues and rights, they want to think that that is like totally African. I'm like, no, that's a colonized view. And so you can't get around that. But if you're not willing to do that work and start to decolonize your mind, this conversation isn't going to go very far. It sounds like you have some understanding. You said that your sister was born that way. At least you understand that part, and that is a big thing. And I will give you, I will recognize that. That's not a small thing. But you need to take it outside of this European context of like, oh, it's a sexual orientation or gender identity only, and there's nothing else related to that. No, culturally, as an African, there's a lot of relevance, okay, and spiritually. But if you leave those colonizer religions,
if we talk about it spiritually, you are talking to someone who, even I can define your name itself, okay, in the Sanskrit way. So if we talk about it spiritually, let us take in another different concept. I know the meaning of the sutra in the spiritual way from lesbian and gay. I don't know nothing about the transgender or all those blah blah blah. Later.
So if you really want to go to Hinduism, because I was trying to stick with African spirituality, which is what I brought up here.
Okay, in African spirituality, let me bring for you now. In the
they have all these different deities
system.
Genders. They have, like, what are you talking about? They have deities that go from male to female.
Let us go back. Let us go back from African tradition.
Oh, okay.
Like let me go in certain country tradition, like Baganda, like Basoga, like Barega, like Bakongo, like Baluba, where I can touch. I don't want to speak Africa because Africa is big.
It's very big.
I can't speak something from Nigeria when I'm not from Nigeria.
Yes. Can I bring Leo up quickly? I'll bring you back up in a minute. When Brahman goes, I just want Leo to join the conversation, please.
Gotcha. All right.
So
don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
In the perspective of spirituality in Africa,
I'll be here, bro.
Okay, nice.
I already participate in Barega, like in the east of Congo, where they call Kimbirikiti. And anyone
Hello,
can check it out.
Yes.
Hello, darling. Hello.
Hey, Leo.
Hi,
Leo,
Phil.
how are you?
Hey,
Hi, Leo.
Hey,
Ogamba Chinyabonye.
You'll be disappointed in me. I might be Ugandan, but I don't speak Lugishu or Luganda. I just know a few words.
Which one you speak? Which language you speak in Uganda?
I'm from Bali, so we speak Lugishu, but
Lugisu.
Yeah.
You don't speak Lugisu even?
No, I didn't grow up in Uganda, so I didn't get a chance to learn.
I understand. No problem.
You're half Ugandan, in it?
Yeah, I'm Malawian and Ugandan, so
just like me.
It's
I'm Nigerian and Malawian.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was making this point. Like in Kimbirikiti, in a tradition in Africa. Remember, I say sorry. We like to use Africa, but when I say Africa, remember I'm talking about the tradition area of ours, not Nigeria. No, I'm talking about Uganda, Congo. Okay, that's the two places my ethnicity come from, my line come from.
Okay.
So there is one tradition where they call Kimbirikiti. There is a tour guide when you call gatekeeper. That's why I want to show you that in another way, how it happened.
Are you serious, Evangelist Bola? Are you for real?
No, she's I doubt it.
She said Syrian and Nigerian. That's interesting.
I thought she would say Ghanaian and Uganda and
I have a cousin that
Nigerian.
was Syrian and Jamaican, so anything's possible.
Sorry, Brahman. Brahman, what did you say?
I have cousins that are Syrian and Jamaican, so.
Brahman, what are you? What mixture? What mixture you got going on?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, my mother's Jamaican, my dad's African American, but I mean there's Scottish on both sides and a little bit of Native American on my dad.
Very nice.
So maybe Brahma, you have to learn now something from what you read there. It's good to read the book, but you have to be with the people who they've been. Like me, I go.
I agree.
Hold on. I go where we call Kimbirikiti in my tradition.
Kimbirikiti.
Before they make me circumcision, where is not a religious circumcision, where they don't believe in anything the trader came with, where anything Leopold King comes with it, like in Congo. We are talking about the deep spirituality. Deep. When we're still knowing about Mami Wata. Do you know Mami Wata?
Yes, we have Mami Wata in Nigeria.
The Syrian,
West
the
Africa.
sea. Yeah. So I'm telling you what is in the deep. And that's the point whereby in the certain tradition, I believe and I see a woman can have a what they call this? Attraction to another woman is not bad, but they don't make it as a official.
Okay. Prof.
They make it like
that's
a
not
ritual.
true, though.
Let me finish my ID.
Hold on.
Wait.
Please.
Don't break me out.
Please.
I will lose this, my sister.
No. There's something I need to do. Please. There's something I need to do. I need to do something. Guys, if you are African and you say there is no LGBT in Africa, this gentleman is confirming that before there was even the King Leopold.
No, don't use LGBT. I tell you, don't use that words.
All right, so not to use the LGBT. What can I use?
Yes, that is a point of problem.
So hang on. So your whole point of contention is the letters LGBTQ. That's what you have the problem. So you're happy to say.
If you go to the history,
hang on. Let me clarify.
Hold on.
Just give a yes or no
Don't
answer.
put me your words in my mouth, please.
This is why I'm giving you a chance, right? Be quiet and listen. Show some respect. So you have an issue with the LGBTQ phrase, okay? But you have already said that there were gay and lesbian people in Africa long before LGBTQ was
even
a commonly used
existed.
Phrase, right?
And ask him as well the fact that he does remember that in 1850 we had a bisexual ruler called Kabaka Mwanga II.
Exactly. I was waiting for him to say that one, but
okay. I challenged him with this earlier, right? So the Baganda Kingdom, right? So
Mwanga, was that the same one you said, Simon?
Yeah, King Mwanga, I think.
Mwanga II.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he flat out denied
Please,
it.
how do you spell it so that I can look it up while you guys
Mwanga, WMWANJ in Buganda.
He was a king, yeah? King?
1884 and 1888, yeah.
And the reason why
he was bisexual?
Yes, and it was because of like missionaries that came in the late 1800s that then forced him to either convert to Christianity and denounce his sexuality, or they will come and conquer Uganda, and that is what happened.
It says here that King Mwanga.
Let me tell you, Mutasa, my sister, Mutasa,
hang on. I've just looked it up. I've just looked it up, and it says that King Mwanga II of Bukanga, the 19th century Ugandan king, was gay. He was gay, bisexual, queer, or just a he was Ugandan. He was Ugandan gay or bisexual, Oh, wow.
So, Afro, here's another one for you, right? You'll find this interesting. So, even pre-colonial society in Africa, again, speaking about Buganda, yeah, there were what's it called? It's Nabayinza or something like that. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. Nabayinza. And it was like it's a relationship often between a king and a younger person. And it was like it was mentorship, companionship, intimate connections. And that's pre-colonial. Like it's existed for such a long time. And anyone who says otherwise is just ignorant.
No. We don't, Simon, I'd say in the beginning, lesbian who born a woman that has a feeling of another woman, a man who has a feeling of another man, they've been existing before enough. No one will tell me no.
So Prof, what do you think the problem now? What was the problem now?
This is a question I was waiting you guys ask me.
If these people have always existed, even the king was bisexual, not a problem. Confirmed. So why, as the same Uganda now criminalized same-sex attraction? Right now that even be killed for your same-sex attraction. What went
go
wrong?
back?
I have
show you something. Let me open for you something. Go
no,
in 1970.
Prof, I want to know from you what you think. Because I would like to bring 1970. I'd like to bring
or 1960.
Disagree.
Okay, go back to 1969.
1969. Okay.
Okay, take 1969 to 70 to 80s in the United States. Then from there, you will understand what is a problem affecting Africa, hating gay and the lesbian who born naturally that way.
I don't understand that. I don't understand what you mean.
Okay,
you want me to go back
sometimes I'm scared to bring all these things out, my sister.
I think
hold on. Can you make it make sense? Just make it make sense to me.
Okay. What happened in 1969?
I'm asking you about Uganda. I'm not talking about America. I'm not talking about any other country. I'm not talking about Uganda.
That's why I bring it for you.
You
to
said
understand the reason behind.
This has always been in existence, right?
Okay. Yeah. Our tradition
what
in
went
Africa,
wrong? Can you? I don't know. Why is it so hard to just tell us,
sister?
It's confusing because he's like
I don't want to confuse you.
It seems like.
Brahma, I don't want to confuse you. I need to make it clear a little bit so that we have a good conversation.
Hey, go on, tell us.
I told you, my sister, I told you, from millions of years, to born lesbian, someone is lesbian, who just is feeling an attraction is for another woman. They've been there existing in Africa. If they want to go to spiritualism, they come to me, I will show them the true spiritualism, not for talking. A man as a Bonane, my friend, Bonane, he born like that. We call him Bonane, means New Year. It was just like that from childhood. We grew up together.
Okay.
Okay. That one is my two eyes.
So what went wrong?
Let me make now the point why now it become very bad for this now for the moment.
Please tell us.
You know, if you go philosophical way, it will be again too long. I want to just take it short.
Yes.
Just give me 1 second to take it short, please.
Okay.
We as African, maybe people from my tradition, they will be annoyed about these words, and the Bantu people and the Pygmy, they will be very annoyed about it. Let me just break it down.
All right.
In our tradition, lesbian, it was made for a ritualistic system. Gay, it was made for a ritualistic system.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Hold on.
That is not true.
No, can he? I want him to tell us what he means by that.
My sister, are you already know what they call Kimbi? You never know that. When only the woman who has a feeling for another woman, who can stop that happen in our tradition. Only a man who it doesn't have any sexual intercourse with another. Okay, let me make it. Only a man who has a sexual intercourse with another man who he can perform this ritualistic. Is there? If you are not to live with this, I can take you. If you want, you take fly, me and you, we shall go.
So Prof, what you're saying is actually quite, you're confirming what Brahman was actually reading in this book.
No, right? That book, I know it is for a long time. I read about that. I know the tradition properly.
What he's saying. He was, from this book, what I got is that the people who identified, or people who, it was like a spiritual sort of thing. It was a spiritual, they looked at these people as gatekeepers, right?
That word, I can't use it as well. You just use the words to say that, but they are not
like a connection between the spirit world and the real. No, I'm saying from the book.
Yeah, from the book.
Not from your culture now. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Now there are some other places where there's a documentary that I watched. People who were trans in some country. I don't remember what the country was, but they respected people who were trans. They respected these people. They had complete ceremonies. They treated these people with respect, right? Because they thought they were closer to the gods or something, you know. So when you say that these people were for rituals, I thought you were saying they were particularly meant to be sacrificed, but no. What you're saying, there were rituals.
It's not for sacrifice. It's not for killing.
No,
I know. What you're saying,
essentially agreeing with me.
There were rituals, right? That not anyone cannot perform. Only one who has a same-sex attraction. Yes.
Yeah, and those two, that's the person who can do that. Not everybody else. So the situation comes here. It's become, it's like a secret. In French we call le secret. It becomes secret. So, and when it is a secret, you want to expose it to make it like a world way, the way you call it right now. Like in our tradition, we feel like you are breaking the rules of the way it's supposed to be. Let me show you the point comes, but they don't tell you.
You mean by like being public and announcing the sexual?
It become like yes, is there now? It become this. When to show in the road, they start wearing like a women. They start to do this. They start to put eyelash. No, it's not that.
Put
it's
eyelash.
More than that.
What's eyelash?
I get what he's saying.
What's eyelash? What do you mean eyelash? What eyelash got to do with
let Brahman try to explain.
Feminine.
I was going to say, I think I understand what he's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, Prof. So, because you have to understand, like in traditional African religions, secrecy is a source of power for one, and so certain things that you do spiritually a lot of times are kept secret or private, and he's right about like the aspect of like, oh, people that we would call like same-sex, same-gender loving or homosexual, like have specific roles to play spiritually. That's what they talk about in this book, but also I've talked to like priests in the Yoruba traditional religion, and they talked about how like in Nigeria, there are certain ceremonies and rituals where they will go and get the gay priest or gay Olorisha, because they know that they have very potent ashe or like spiritual power. And so, and they know there's certain things that only they can do. And so, again, I do believe that in the West, because we've been separated from our spiritual calling,
right,
all you're left with is the sexuality and the gender expression. And coming from its origins, where a lot of those things might have been kept private, not out of shame, but for various spiritual and cultural reasons.
Yes.
It may seem kind of profane and almost sacrilegious in a sense if you're coming from it from that perspective. I understand what he's saying is like drag queens and pride parades and things like that. They evolved out of something else outside of the original context. And because we were forced to form our own communities amongst ourselves, as opposed to being an integral part of the larger community, because of that, you have this whole other phenomena that's occurred that we call the LGBT community, and it looks very different from what you may see in traditional setting. And so I get what he's saying.
Thanks, Brahma. Thanks to you. That's the things I didn't know how to break it down.
Thank you for breaking it down. But can I just remind everyone? Let me just remind everyone that we are in 2023, right? And in 2023, there are people who are not spiritual. There are people who are not religious. There are people who have same-sex attraction and just want to live life. They've got someone has a same-sex attraction to another. It doesn't have to be anything to do with spirits. Doesn't have to do with anything to just and sister. People just love who they want to love for good.
I think
and
that's
not a problem.
Point of order. When we talk about it being 2023, like spiritual practices, like traditional things, are not put within the legal system. They're not passed like legislations through the parliament, especially in Uganda. 2 weeks ago, Museveni held an online panel. I think you know about this, where he invited he invited the queer community to come and address their concerns. And people were very cautious about what they said, and he was very receptive to it as well, which I'm surprised. I was very shocked, but I'm taking word from someone who actually was there and asked him questions. And he mentioned it himself that his problem with religious people is that the first sentence that they state is all about love, and in the same breath they'll talk about who they do not want anymore. And he felt obligated because of his position there with the parliament. He sent back the bill to them for it to be corrected in terms of the legal like the death penalty and all these things, because he said that it is not acceptable, but they've been sent it back. So this is why we're talking about it being in 2023. Yes, there's traditional elements that our people played a role in, but they're not we're individuals now. This whole thing where you want them to be only what they used to be is also adding to the problem. And it's as if you're getting upset for people for being truly who they are, especially with the fact that we add into colonialism. Because if colonialism didn't happen,
I want to ask the panel, do you think I will be happy? I will be me as a Professor J,
Professor J. Yes.
You think like I will be happy to see my sister to be persecuted?
Oh, absolutely not.
I want to ask that
I
question.
wouldn't know.
I will be happy to see the blood of someone kill my sister?
I wouldn't know. Listen, I will not
be happy.
I was on a live some weeks ago, and some people from Uganda were asked, because now you can report people for being LGBTQ in Uganda. And there was a gentleman who came up and talked about, I think it was his sister or someone as well in his family, and he was asked the question, would you out them? Would you report them? He hesitated for some time. He couldn't even answer. And then he was saying,
you report my sister, I kill you. He said straight away.
He said, it depends. Depends on what?
More.
So,
Afro. My point is, Afro, let me make my point because I'm going. I'm going to go soon.
All right, Prof. Good.
I'm going to go soon. My point is one.
Before you go.
Whatever happened to Uganda, whatever happened to Uganda in the parliament of Uganda, whatever happened there, it is not that they want to make LGBT killing or whatever. It is based of American agenda. Let us go straight away for the point.
Thanks for
they don't like African people right now. They don't like anything American is pushing on. So my people, my sister, who they're gay, lesbian, they are suffering for only one thing for one country, continent.
Wait,
what did they say?
Are you saying that law was passed mainly by the influence of
you.
America.
Okay, let me make it very clearly again. You know, right now in Africa, they hate American things. Anything America will come, oh, you have to support gay, human rights, blah, blah, blah. African, they will be against it. If you see something come from the UK, blah, 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 American, African, they will start against it. Why?
Okay.
They don't want the supremacy anymore of American to dictate African what to do and what to not do.
But also, they embrace the bigotry from these American evangelical pastors.
That is it.
They embrace they embrace the music, they embrace a lot of the cultures, they embrace so many other things. But you know this
and they did say it's against God. And they did say it's against God. Against the God of Abraham. Which means that they
to everybody.
That's it.
My sister,
come and see, come to Africa.
My sister live in Zambia.
Some people,
my sister live in Zambia, Kampala.
They've never been in America.
You kill my sister, I kill you.
Whole American accent, right? They 50 Cent incarnate, right? They 50 Cent impersonators. They would appropriate American culture when it suits them, right? The music, the sagging pants, denim, Wranglers, the Wrangler jeans, and all these things. They would happily take all of these things that come from over there. But this particular subject, oh, no. We don't want anything to do with America. We don't, come on. But these American evangelists, they into your countries in and out every single day. Just the other day, I was watching a video on this very poor place in Nigeria, and some American evangelists had come over there, right? And these men, you've seen these people in these very poor areas. You've been to the church, and these two men had the audacity to say that they feel sorry for these Africans, that they've
got the
wrong version.
My sister, I want to make this point. For me, a lesbian, to born a lesbian is not a problem for me.
Version of Christianity, and that they're speaking in the camera, telling the people to pray for God to send the real evangelists, right, from yonder, to come and preach to these Africans the right version, because in Africa they've got the prosperity doctrine, and that would take them to hell. So they were feeling sorry for these people.
Afro, I want to make one thing. For me to be gay and lesbian, those two things is not a problem as a man of a tradition, as I know what I know, right? Only one thing I'm against with is those transgender things.
Come on.
There it goes.
That's what I was hinting at. I was hinting at earlier, right?
Okay.
So he was like,
for me, if you are gay, I saw it by my eyes.
No, transgender has to do with
you born that way.
No.
But me, you want to bring for me transgender transformation of the gender, that you are not means you want to make yourself artificial than natural.
No, it's nothing to do with making yourself artificial, Prof. That's not true.
Oh God.
Oh,
come on, that's not true at all. Nothing to do with artificial.
Me, if you born lesbian,
Prof, excuse me, stop a minute. I got a question to ask. Do you value science?
Come again?
Do you value
science and the scientific method?
I value science sometimes. Sometimes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Only when it suits your narrative. But you say sometimes. When is the time that you don't value science? You say sometimes. So tell us when you don't value it.
Brother, I say two things to you. If you born gay,
no, you are not answering the question. You're dodging the question.
I support you. You existing before, and you've been.
No. It has nothing to do with existing before. Do you understand?
Gender.
Jay, hold on a minute.
Science, Prof.
Jay, hold on a minute.
Prof.
Do you understand that some women, the neurology, the brain neurology of some persons are women in a male body, in a man's body?
How did you discover it?
From neurology, from the neurologists have discovered that it's a brain state. It's a brain state. I don't know who they discovered, but I know they discovered they did some tests, some sort of tests, and it is that it's the brain
to research things.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but the point is that there are women in their bodies, just like how some people are attracted to the same sex, which is a brain state again. There are women who have the feel of a woman in their brain state. They're a woman, but in their body don't match their neurology. You see, so I want you to tell me, you say sometimes, you're dodging the question. When is it sometimes?
Yeah, when do you reject science?
When do you reject science?
Okay, when can you reject science?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the beautiful question. Let me answer
it. Is very
and
beautiful.
don't interrupt me.
No, I'm not going to interrupt.
Please. When I reject science, when it doesn't define death.
What?
Huh? How do you mean when it doesn't define death?
Defy death, saying that it's
no, define or defy?
Defy, I think you said defy.
Defy.
Hold on. Did you say defy death or define it?
Defining, like I don't know how.
Oh, to define.
I don't know how.
To
define.
DEFINE?
Yeah, DEFINE.
Oh, it doesn't.
But when it doesn't define death, how you mean it doesn't define death?
Yes, I don't understand that.
That doesn't mean that's F science does not give a definition or thing for death. That's not
I think
reason for rejecting science. That's not
I think it's defy death, like you're saying.
No, can he explain what he means? Can he just
break
it down?
To explain.
Can he just break it down? I don't understand what that means.
I don't want to go too deep in these things.
No, please, brother. You don't have to go deep. Just
you don't have to go deep. Just say what you mean by
stay on the surface and just let us understand. Because
yes, when you say let me go simple. Let me go simple.
You were asked the question.
Okay, I will give the answer.
Do you accept science? You said something.
I said sometimes.
So now the question is when,
because it doesn't define death.
When do you reject science? What are the occasions?
Because it doesn't define death.
It doesn't define death.
DEFINE, right? Not define.
Yes.
Okay.
But the dictionary defines death. Why should
science define death? Science does define death. Medical science does. So where do you get that? It doesn't.
When you say
they just say, hold on. They just say that.
Hang on.
They just say being killed, end of life of a person or organs.
Right.
That's the way they say it. Right. So if you take one by one.
So what is death then? Prof,
I have
what
the
do you
funny feeling that
consider?
Prof
What do you
sees this as
consider
a spiritualistic
No,
thing,
please
right?
don't. I don't want us to escape our conversation, please.
No, but what
my question? My answer was.
You made a statement.
My answer was Philip. Hold on. My answer was I told you if you born lesbian, I'm 100 because I saw it. I'm 100% with you.
No. You're dodging.
Hold on.
Sometimes you say you define does not define that. You need to explain that before you move on. No, you're not getting rid of that.
I'm saying something. Leave me speaking fast, please. It's not
You
that
have a long
way.
time speaking. Just answer the question.
Hang on. So I have
already
a
tell
theory.
you, because science doesn't define death.
Okay.
So what do you mean by that?
Do you want to more than that? I will explain to you.
Simon,
but
help out.
Give
Simon,
me chance to finish my statement.
Let him. Okay, finish your statement.
Yeah, he might
my statement is start like this again. Gay and lesbian, two people I see there, two individual living beings. For me, those two individual living beings, they are most important in me, according the way my research, according the way I live, according the way I born, see that person near me, clean my clothes, feed me as his young brother. Okay? I saw that. I have a proof of that. But that one I said, I'm not with transgender people. Why? Because when it comes artificial things that they want to create something to be manifested as a different form, and it doesn't work. End of that, it is to break. For me,
it doesn't work.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Let me explain something to you, Prof, about the thing, because I think you're misunderstanding it altogether, which is why you're giving all this pushback on it. While you're understanding of the whole gay and lesbian part, but the transgender part, you're like, no, not that. So transgender does not mean that you have to get surgery.
Correct.
You're transgender. You're born transgender.
Okay? Yeah.
And so that just means that the gender that you were assigned at birth does not match with the gender that you personally identify with. Okay? That's all that means. But the idea that you have to get surgery, because you're talking about artificial things, you don't have to get surgery or
please,
hormones.
Please go with the perfect meaning of transgender.
The perfect meaning of transgender.
It doesn't mean transition. It does not mean transition.
Does not correspond with the sex register.
Let me go to the dictionary and find
go ahead, my
meaning
sister.
of
do you think, for example, my issue with you is that you only want to accept what you have seen and what you feel comfortable with.
That's what I
not to be comfortable with.
Be racist because I grew
sister,
up with
is not
black.
to be comfortable.
Stop there, Professor J. Let her finish.
It sounds
okay, not comfortable with
these kind of these biases within you, which you're seeing from the media, and you think that you're better than Ugandans right now who are outwardly showing their distaste to the queer community, but you are in the same boat because you're still regurgitating the same things that they say. Uneducated, unwarranted, and very much a you problem. It shows that you are unaware of what being trans is because you said a natural or a perfect or perfect form of being trans. And if you do not, if this as simple as this is, if you do not want to be in the business, stop commenting on it. Because you obviously don't even know enough to have an actual conversation.
Can I just read the definition of a transgender, right? A transgender is someone whose gender identity or gender expression does not correspond with the sex they were assigned at birth.
Thanks so much. That's my point.
Nothing to do with artificial
transition.
Transitioning. Nothing of that sort. There are trans people. I was needed to reach in that point. There are trans people who will never have any procedures at all. There are trans people who don't even want any procedures. That's even if they were offered it. They don't want it. They don't.
So the question comes here, my sister.
But I need to understand what you mean by artificial, though, because it is not artificial, Jay. It is nothing artificial.
Phil, why are you sounding like you're inside a?
Yeah, I'm in the room.
You sound like you're inside a submarine.
Phil is currently
traveling in the Caribbean.
Like he's in a submarine.
Oh yeah, because I'm in the room, the bathroom, but because I don't have the door open.
It's echoing,
right? But I'm not doing anything right now. Yeah. So what I would like to know what you mean by artificial, because it is not artificial.
Yeah, Phil, but
in a sense,
your
let me bring my sense out.
It's
disturbing.
Oh,
yeah, some people are saying.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that it's a bit of a
right.
It is
I
very
think
loud.
it sound better now.
It's very loud and it's coming from the.
Yeah, but it sounds better now. It sounds like it's lower.
Are you in a swimming
that's a
pool?
bit better.
That's much better. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
What do you mean
Philly.
by artificial, Jay? Because you're using this word artificial.
When I call it artificial, certain ways, in the sense of that, I said, okay, you know that the law of nature say that.
What law of nature?
Penis, hold on.
No.
Has,
you're going down the wrong line. Before you can continue, you're going down the wrong line. No law of nature say because somebody have a penis.
Let me finish.
All right, go ahead. I can refute you.
Let me finish. We shall go into biology soon.
Biology soon?
And we shall go in deep. We shall go in deep together. Don't worry. Don't worry about that.
Go on, Prof.
One question though. Did you do biology at school?
That's why I say we shall go in deep about it.
No, I asked you, did you do biology at school?
Phil,
yes.
Phil, I love you, but let him dig his hole.
All right, go ahead.
And then we'll see.
And guys, please, Prof will soon be leaving. When he leaves, I particularly want to speak to the people that say LGBT is not African culture, right?
Oh, no.
I want to speak to you.
Yes, they are right, my sister. When you use LGBT, it is not African culture. This is the point I was needed to bring again.
My Bible says,
my sister, when you said that word,
my Quran says it is not.
No, Professor J, it's just a different term for what you will call the other term. It's just a label. It's just a label. Come on, man.
I was still speaking.
In my
I was still speaking.
Yeah, let Afro speak.
Anybody, anyone who says it is not African culture, please get ready to show me the culture book, the culture guidelines for Africa, right? I want to see what is African culture and what isn't, right? Yes. You should be able to tell us what exactly is the African culture and what isn't.
Nice
right?
question.
Show us where we can go to go and find what is African culture. Otherwise, just shut your mouth when it comes to it is not African culture. You're speaking nonsense.
Sister, also if they ask you the same question in reverse, prove us that is African culture. Are you gonna bring any book?
I mean, everything that you said proves.
Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Hey, Prof.
He just told us that his sister was born lesbian.
Listen,
yes,
and honestly,
but that
I think
is not
that
a culture.
He said his
when
sister.
We talk about culture,
hang on.
That's not culture.
Guys, Brahman's been trying to say something for
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Prof, follow me back if you want to continue this conversation, because I feel like you're meeting this topic where you're at currently in your understanding, and it's not that you're opposed to learning, but there's just certain things that you just don't understand. If you want to have a real conversation outside of this live, follow me back and we can talk some more. But because I feel like I understand some of your points, I don't agree with everything you're saying, but I think, yeah, I think I said enough. But I'm about to go. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or
Thank
evening.
you, Brahman. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for letting me up and being able to speak.
No,
I do
for,
agree
you know,
with him that the words LGBT, that is not part of African culture.
Okay.
thank you.
Right.
But that's a semantics thing and not really what you're
And
talking
that is
about.
the biggest problem in Africa. We've been asking why
and I
is the
get it.
problem.
But I'm gonna go now. I don't want to hark on that point too
Okay,
much.
Bram, we
but I
can talk
do get what
later,
you're saying.
next time.
Yeah, follow me back if you want to talk some more about that.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thanks,
Brahman.
I do.
and Leo,
Okay,
it was a pleasure
Brahman.
hearing all of
Brahman, see
you.
you later.
Sister, I'm also you know, I was needed to go from long
Yes,
time.
you
but,
said you need to go. Yes, yes.
yeah, but the thing is, I was just needed to say something in the last, maybe, okay. When like people from the community of LGBT, they try to fight for their recognition of their right. That yes, we are also human beings. We have this feeling. It's not me. I didn't choose it. It's happened to me. Like a man, like a straight person said that I didn't choose to love a woman. It's just in me. Let us go in that sense. So, but if it's become like if someone against it with reason, like me, I can against the transgender, and I will having my points. I will ask a lot of questions so that you prove me that it is not that way I'm thinking. But if I feel like in your answers there is a speculation, I will continue to ask you, because me, I live in a 3 mode of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Those 3 things I move with it.
Just quickly, Afro, if you get a request from Mitch the scientist,
yes,
let him up. He's got a neuroscience
oh yeah, I know.
background.
I've
He's a
listen.
cool
I've
guy.
read many conversations. Mitch the scientist. I listen. Listening. Yes. So
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to make
no,
sure
it's
if he
fine.
does
Absolutely
request.
fine. Oh, thank you. Oh, I would love to hear from Mitch. Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Phil here. Phil is actually a science teacher. So in order to teach science, you must know science, right, Phil?
Yes.
I'm teaching history also. That's why I know more history.
Oh, so you're a history teacher.
Yes.
Ah, right. Okay. Nice. Very nice. Okay,
And
so
I finished Africa traveling and each and every ethnicity in Africa.
Okay.
And
so
the most was too much ethnicity.
Can I ask you
yes,
this question? And okay, I think you've already answered it. You've already answered.
Just ask again, sister.
So please just let me understand. In Uganda, is it still do the LGBTQ community still face death? Is it still?
What do you say again?
Do they face death as a penalty?
You know, it is not death penalty. It is an imprisonment, to put you in prison. Especially, I speak more French, you know.
Yes.
I grew up in Congo side. I speak more French. It's just because my dad is Ugandan. Grow up in Uganda, go live in Congo. I speak more French than, and I'm more based. Much was based in Congo than Uganda. So, but Uganda I based when I was like 25 years old. I will go back to Uganda. So the point is in Uganda law, as legislation passed through, it was if you commit crime as you sleep, example, like you are a man, you sleep with someone, whatever. I don't know how some people they didn't say to you, but it's a bunch of things that.
Wait, so if you're
next time
if you're LGBT, they castrate you?
If they didn't say that. If you go like you propagate it in the street, you take the flag, I'm LGBT, do whatever you want, I'm protesting, you have a problem with the Ugandan government.
Oh, whoa.
So if you can do, you know, the point before was, if you can do your things in your bedroom, there is not our problem. No one will come to see your things.
But
now,
how is waving a flag? How is that?
Don't do that in
problem?
Uganda, and it comes also in Congo. I feel like a few days ago, I was speaking with the Minister of Internal Affairs. I hear it is coming true soon. They will debate it. So my question is, means we born in certain family, when one member of our family looks like that or is like that, so what we shall do? That was my question I'm fighting for. Don't think like me, I'm against LGBT, whatever it is.
Hold on 1 second, please. Let me just quickly address something in chat. So you who thinks that it is not this isn't Nigeria, I think that you're living in La La Land if you think that this isn't something that is found in Nigeria. You see, so people speak from ignorance because they've not traveled, they've not explored, they've not spoken with people. There are parts of Nigeria where this is something that it is there because you don't know about it, so you assume that it is not there because you don't move in those circles, because you are in fact, imagine you who thinks that sort of thing. Imagine someone in your family who is LGBTQ. You think they will want to come and speak to you about it? Of course not, because they know what you're going to do to them. And so they keep it to themselves and to people who are affirming of them. And that's why someone like you will come out and say, oh, it's not in Nigeria. Yes, because the people who identify as such have cleverly hidden it away from you, because they know they show it to you, they know you're going to be nothing but a bigot. And so you think, oh, it's not there. Oh, please. And then if you say to me, oh, there's no transgender. Hello, Bobrisky. You haven't seen Bobrisky? Bobrisky has even gone as far as to say that he has now gone all the way and done surgery. Have you seen James Brown? See all these people, they're coming out. Little by little, they're coming out. So don't you let me hear you say, yeah, it's not Nigeria. Please. Go
my
up
sister,
north.
And I told the people, if you never traveling in Africa,
and go and see what goes on there. There's a particular trans person here on TikTok. Well, I don't know whether to call. I don't know what whether they identify themselves as a she or a he. So I would say them. They're here on TikTok, right? And they are a lady I think they were originally born male, but dress up as a female. And they are a person of the night. They go out and very public about what they do, right? They go out sleeping with men in Abuja. And they're just very vocal about it. Sometimes they do videos of themselves out there going to go and look for their customers. And they are three together, right? He said,
my sister, let me break down. Give me 1 second, I'm going. You know why? Now, people, they start to become divided. The secret of the power of some time in the tradition. Think about Cleopatra. She was, I don't want to go there. Let me just go with what I want to say. The point is, now you find like people, they start to be, I call it, they start against people who they've been living with them for all, kill brother or to kill sister because they are gay or lesbian. Mm-hmm. But now we become like this. You know why? These white people, let me bring this again. They are causing chaos from every corner perspective of life.
They're causing chaos.
I see, yes. Okay. We've been having those lesbians inside our house. They're cooking food. They're there. Our sisters, they've been there.
They're inside your house.
Creating the chaos.
What is this white propaganda? Can we stop?
Let me tell you, my sister. Now my sister become in danger.
No.
My sister, let me speak this. I'm a little bit upset because my sister is becoming in danger in Uganda because she's just lesbian.
Do you know that? Our fault. How is that our fault?
Is this white, whatever they come with this nonsense?
Nope, it's the people in Uganda right now. Stop blaming other people.
In Uganda, bring back 1992. When 80s, when Museveni take the power.
Museveni enter in the power. I'm happy that you're scared for your sister, but it should not take your sibling to be the only person that you're scared of, because then you're saying that you don't actually care about queer people.
No, I care about other people. Example, like you are there. I know you. You are not bad for me. You are speaking with me. You born like that. But because now West is pumping this,
they're pumping
activities, then it becomes danger from all the sisters who we've been grown up together, all the family, all the relative, not even relative, even the people of the countries.
Can I say something?
How is the West? No, Phil, just give me 1 second, Phil. Please, just give me 1 second.
It is West, man.
I want to understand this.
The same West people, they come with the Bible, they tell you
please
homosexual is a sin.
Please give me 1 second.
They want to bring. Then they come next time, they tell you, you have to agree.
Give me 1 second.
I need to be on my own world now.
Come on. I don't know how on earth the West pumps into Africa same-sex attraction, right? How they tell how do you go meet somebody and tell them, oh,
thanks, my sister. Let me answer this question in a simple way. Let me answer this question in a simple way.
Hold on, please. Hold on.
The Bible, the colony, they came, sister, the colonies, they came. Today they teach you, Father Paul said that do not accept Sodom and Gomorrah, blah, blah, blah. They preach it.
Please, can we not talk about Sodom and Gomorrah here?
I'm saying that. Then today they come again. The same people they come again today. They tell you you have to give them right. You have to do this. Why you play with the brain of people?
Professor J, I think you are conflating. You're right now. What is coming over to me is that you are so focused on the white man agenda. You are conflating human rights with white man agenda. That's what you're doing right now. That's how it's coming over. And you are claiming because they are bringing and say, oh, you must value the rights of people, LGBTQ plus, to value the rights. This is what needs to be done, and you are conflating that with a white agenda. That has nothing to do with the white agenda. That's humanist.
This is my problem. Is there?
Before you reply,
no, you are conflating.
It's not going to. You're coming here to troll. Please just
agenda is humanist.
Hey, Prof.
I get very when people who are totally against white come to humanists, being humanistic.
LGBTQ is white agenda, my friend.
You live outside of Africa.
It is not acceptable.
Please, hold on.
It is not acceptable.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Can we
one by one?
Your eyes, there's already a conversation.
Can we tap on our screens, please? Please. Let us
let's get to
hold on, please. Hold on. Let me try and run this live. I beg you. Please make sure to tap on the screens. Yes, I know this is a conversation that some of you right now it's causing you to be very emotional. It's bringing out those emotions. But you know something, whether you like it or not, the LGBTQ, they've always been with us, and they ain't going nowhere. In fact, there's going to be a whole lot more people coming out, right? And the sooner you accept, the better. It's just, there's just no two ways to put it. There is no two ways to put it. Because you don't know, because you think it isn't there, just don't assume that it isn't there. It is right under your noses. Some of you are going to have children who are going to come out to you and tell you, I am this way. What are you going to do then?
They don't say that they will come. They born, let us make it properly. They born, we saw it like that. It's not to hide. People born like that. So if you come tell me I'm like this, no, it is not that way. You've been born like that. So this is the point I'm fighting every day.
I want to clarify something, Prof.
Not necessarily.
Please explain how my people are the white devils and we are enforcing LGBTQ+ upon Africa.
Yes, good question.
Okay, first of all, you have to know if you are white from wherever you come from, Africa, we've been never having problem with gay and lesbian.
Gay people existed in Africa long before white. Gay people existed in Africa long before white people came.
Let me finish. When you've been born lesbian, we live with you as a member of our community, member of our family. We never having problem with that. If you
and what about trans?
Hold on, please. I never hear in my tradition. I never hear that words of trans. I'm saying what I live. I'm part of the traditional community and a part of the leader. Inside.
The trans is just a label
in the tribe.
Prof,
I'm talking about me.
Prof, I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you.
They have trans people in your
community. In your community.
I don't believe so. That one you assume, but I'm not. Me, I can tell you what
assuming.
I see with my.
Yes, people. The woman in a male's body, a man in a woman's body.
1900s, they didn't exist before then.
Give me 1 second, AZ. We're gonna hear from you in a minute. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
My sister,
it's just a label. It's a label describing.
Thanks for everybody was there. We are all human beings. End of our life is to die. Simple.
Okay.
And the science never defined death, so nothing else.
Well, but no, you keep making that statement. I want you to say how it has not defined death.
I will tell you. I will tell you.
Every time.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Simon did ask a question which I'm interested in as well. Simon is actually a white man, right? Now, Simon wants to know, Prof.
White, there is no culture.
Hold on.
They don't know meaning of culture.
Hold on, please, hold on.
Come on, don't go there. That's what I'm talking about.
African situations.
So wait, are you saying that
it's not your turn to talk?
Are you saying white people don't have culture?
They don't have my sister.
White people don't have culture. Are you for real?
They don't have. For real, they don't know what meaning of culture is.
Oh, whoa.
Really? That is racist.
Okay.
That is racist.
Okay, let's have.
No, that is a fact.
What does culture mean? Wait, give me 1 second. Let's see.
You have to go in.
What does culture mean? Hold on.
Food, for example. Give us one English food.
Ace, stop it.
I'm making a good point.
No, you're not, and you know it.
So listen. This is the definition of culture. Because this thing that you say the white people don't have, let me tell you what the definition is. So culture is the ideas.
No. My sister, no.
Please hold on. No, don't tell me no.
Oxford.
Don't tell me no.
Oxford properly.
Don't tell me no.
Go the top one. That is the second one you are reading.
Tell me no.
Go to the first one, my sister.
No, there's the different uses of culture, Professor J.
Intellectual achievement regarding of.
Okay, all right.
Collective.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to read both of them. Okay, how
about perfect?
Because there's usage.
Number one, please, can you just let me speak? I beg you. So the first one says it is the art and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. That's the one you wanted me to read. It is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. Yeah, that's one.
Okay, let me bring this one.
Let her finish.
Please don't interrupt. Please.
You have your time to speak.
Go ahead. I give you the correct one.
The second one, the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society.
Those are two wrong
to say that.
So please tell me how. No.
Let me give you the perfect definition of culture.
Not perfect. Your definition.
Based on those
culture can be defined as all way of life, including art, belief, and institution of a population. Culture has been called
so
the way of life for the entire society. Has a such.
Are you saying the
manners, dressing,
languages,
languages,
culture
religion,
evolved.
ritualistic, and arts.
White people don't have a way of life.
Culture. Please, I'm going.
White people don't have a way of life.
They
And that they don't pass on things to their children.
Please, I define the culture in a real definition.
No,
that's not a real definition. Definition has to do with usage and how it's used.
About it right
it
now.
doesn't.
Prof,
actually, they do have culture. My bad.
You can't be a teacher.
They drink.
Please,
why
people don't have culture. Which tribe they are? Which tribe?
Oh, so you have to have a tribe to have a culture?
Eh?
Of course.
Prof, what is
They will tell me which ritualistic they have.
Excuse me, that
That's
definition you
not
just please.
culture.
That
Okay, tell
definition
me.
you just read.
Which
that
religion white
that
people they have?
that definition you just read. Show me where it says that
Which
culture is
art
tribe.
they have?
Show me where it's
Of individuals
is you've been in
a region
by
or
Arabs.
location.
Don't
what is wrong with
Hey,
you.
hey, hey,
You
hey,
think
hey,
that
hey,
Culture
hey,
has
hey,
been
Includes-
called the way.
everyone chill for a second. Right. So, as the only white person on this panel, I'm gonna talk personal beliefs of what culture is.
No,
You didn't
didn't. No,
use
he
the
didn't.
dictionary. So the thing you insisted she did. And then because it didn't agree with you, you came back with a stupid.
Let him continue, please. Let him continue.
Some ad hominem.
Give me
No, no.
5 symbol. No, 5 things define culture. Only that.
Stupid and
5
dumb.
things.
Start muting
Are
people.
we allowing
I'm going to
personal
start
attacks in
muting
here?
people. I'm going to start muting, please.
Right. So here we go. Right. So using the Oxford Dictionary, the dictionary you insisted that was used. Right. So contributions to fields like literature, philosophy, science, music, Shakespeare, Immanuel Kant, Mary Curry, classical compositions by Mozart.
That's not
That's what-
culture, bro.
Yeah, it is.
That's
No, shut up and
Poetry
fucking listen, you
is
moron.
No, don't
Shut
say
up.
that. That is not good words, please.
Yeah, use
Shut
proper
up.
words, bro. Don't tell someone to shut up, you dickhead.
Identify 4
Be
types of
respectful.
culture:
I
clan,
have sat here and been
culture,
quiet and listened
autocracy
to.
culture,
Professor J,
market
be
culture.
quiet. Gosh.
Thank you. Right. So you wanted to use the Oxford definition, and that's what I am giving you now. Okay. So social institutions and achievements, establishments and development of democratic systems, legal frameworks, educational institutions, customs and social behavior, social norms and behaviors that have historically been associated with white cultures, such as greetings, etiquette, which is something you should probably go and learn, and social customs in specific religions. Yeah, cultures associated with specific white majority nations or regions, such as British culture, German culture, Scandinavian culture, Eastern European cultures. They've all got their own customs, art forms, traditions, historical achievements. I could go on, but it's pointless because you won't hear it.
Simon, my only problem with what you've said is I don't firstly what things we've talked about, but being genuine is that a lot of white culture, what you can perceive as things that have been passed down, have been borrowed, and borrowed is used loosely. So
Okay,
in that sense, I want us to be honest about that.
Fine.
That happens in all.
But that happens in every culture on the planet.
Exactly.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying in the way that you also said it as well, it sounds as it did come off as if you're denying that fact, like there wasn't an origin to it.
No. So I'm just using
borrowed in terms loosely as well does connotate to the fact that things were stolen. When I say borrowed, it's not everything. But
It's stolen. It's not borrowed.
Stolen, yeah. But I'm just saying it to not say it towards Simon personally, but I don't agree with the way that you are saying it. But Prof,
okay,
you're out of line.
guys, give me 1 second. You in the chat that is saying, look how they're trying to explain themselves to the white guy. A damn shame. Who's trying to explain what to who?
This is
don't follow that, please, my sister.
Guys,
don't follow that.
Moderators, please. Anyone who is spouting nonsense, please, you have my permission to just get rid. Please.
Please let this star person
we don't need this in here. When people are trying to have a conversation, you were here when you heard these people saying it was a white man, the white man did this, the white man did this. You make accusation of a whole set of people, and now you're getting a rebuttal, and you dare to say that we are pandering to the white man. Is there something wrong with you? Thank you very much. Please get rid. I beg
Afro,
you.
Afro, don't follow the people. There any comment. Just leave them alone.
No. Don't tell me not. Don't tell me not to follow. Right? Because at the end of the day, we need to be able to have civil conversations. Right?
Perfect.
And part of civil conversations is if you don't agree with something, right? If you know you're not ready to tell us what you disagree with, just shut your mouth. Who must you comment? Must you type anything? Must you say something? If you're not going to say anything that is constructive, then just listen.
So here's the thing, right? I sat here through most of this live, and I sat here very politely, very quietly, whilst a lot of nonsense was said. A lot of nonsense. And anybody who frequents Afro's lives will tell you I'm like this consistently. I'm polite, I'm courteous. The one thing I will not stand is factually incorrect nonsense. I will not stand for it, and I will call you out no matter what you're saying. Even if you're a friend, and we've had good conversations before, if you are saying something that is factually incorrect, I will call your ass out on it. Faster than you blink. And that's what I'm doing now. Because what you have done, Prof, is the very thing you have accused white people of doing for the past however many years.
Yes.
So Simon, I have a question for you before I go, because my time is running.
Okay.
For what we've been talking, you know where that words come from? It comes from the way of life in West and the way of life in Africa is totally two different things.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So what? So are we going full just so you can understand?
Wait, can I drop quickly and be brought back up? I'm hearing an echo.
Even I feel echo also.
Whose mic was
that was, I think it's Leo's.
I think it's mine. So I'm just going to drop and come back up.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I told you, for me personally, I don't use that word LGBT because it is confusion right now in my head.
Okay. In your head.
Yeah. In my head. Not anyone's head. I don't say nobody. I say me. In my head. Why is confusion in my head? Because personally, I live with the people who born in that sense of that way people they are against right now. But what me sometimes I can say I don't agree with is transgender. As I say, I born this way, I have a D, then I call myself different things. So I feel like it is, for me, personally, and without offense, I feel like it's a mental illness.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
I said it is me.
Can I ask you a question?
Me.
Prof?
No, don't even say that here.
Can I ask you a question, Prof?
Ask me, my sister.
Prof, what do you say about people who are born with both genitalia?
I was saying, like someone who born gay and someone
who
born lesbian.
No. She said intersect. It's called intersect.
Yes. someone who's born intersex. Just the other day, I was actually talking to.
With
I was
both
on
genitalia.
I was on a live, and I was talking to two people who were actually intersex. It was interesting to just, never been in a space like that, meeting people who were intersex and just sharing their experiences. So what do you say about that, Prof?
Okay, I told you I learned history. That's my things. So let me go back in history a little bit.
No. You don't have to go
Memphis,
back all the way.
I will give an answer. I will just two answer just two, so that you understand where I can show you that intersexual, what you said. Let us go to Memphis. In Egyptian culture, right? There was when we call Neftaneha, means someone who was passing through, having sex for a man and a woman, same time. So that's that one you say intersexual. You can have sex with a woman, you can have sex with a man. So it was there in the times. In the history, I understand that person was existing. But that person, he can call himself what?
Sorry, did you ask me a question?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That intersexual, it is the action of having sex with a man and a woman.
Yes.
Means you are between.
Yes.
So I want to understand, because the definition of transgender,
they told you have to do with is a neurological state where you have a woman and in a man's body.
Please, Philip,
and
tell me something
female,
scientifically
it
biologically.
is that it's the biology that said it's the neurology. Neurology means the brain. It has to do with the brain. And brain, do you understand that the brain is a chemical, that our thoughts are produced from chemical interactions in the brain? Our feelings, our emotions.
You are talking about neurology, right?
That is neurology.
Okay, in neurology, you said what? What do you say?
Neurology. That has to do with the study of the brain, study of the nervous system, study of the neurons, the interaction.
So what did you discover in a study of the brain?
It's not what I discovered in the study of the brain. I'm talking about from the biological aspect, what has been researched. And it is a neurological state, which means that there's some chemical interaction going on there, which makes the person has the brain of or the feeling of a woman in a male body. Their brain state does not identify with the body that they have, the physiology. The same way you said some people are born lesbian. Lesbian means it's a brain state. Again, they have these feelings, these emotions towards the same sex. It is in the same category. It's in the same category, Jay.
Can I just quickly tell Prof, I know you have to go, and also I need to bring up. There's someone I would like to bring up, because I would like to hear from a religious point of view.
Hey, Afro.
Religious.
Yes, the religious point of view.
I hate religion. Just go
on. Anyone who disagrees from a religious point of view. Simon?
You're 2 hours up, by the way.
I know. I can do another 30 minutes. I know, okay. Simon. Okay. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah,
so some years ago, in a London hospital, I was on the ward. I was working there, and I met a trans person. And this was the first time I've ever had a conversation with a trans person. And this person shared their experience. Just sitting down and listening to that person changed my perspective of the whole trans ideas that I had. Now, my question to you, have you to just find out what exactly their experiences are?
It was even yesterday.
You have?
Yesterday, even yesterday.
And what came out of
the
that?
The problem makes me uncomfortable to express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't express properly without insulting me, abusing me, call me, I grew up in the culture way that I don't speak all this kind of fuck you, move there, blah blah blah.
Were they giving you the same energy that you were giving?
Yeah,
to them?
they give me that energy of not make me aware of what they feel or what they are, who
so
they are.
They were being defensive.
Did you tell them that they are artificial?
Wait, no, Phil.
Did you understand how a trans person?
Hold on.
Can I just say,
Phil,
Prof, are you saying that you were not aware that they were trans? Is this what you're trying to say?
No. They told me they are transgender, right? They say.
Okay.
Then I asked them, what do you mean for that? So instead of let the person know, because I can't know what is inside you. So, since we said, that's why I told you, for me, science sometimes let us go even in a biological way. So no, then
stop using biology.
No, stop using biology. You don't have a degree in biology.
Can we just continue
if your thing is just
no, because level. I asked the simple question. So you supposed to
that has nothing to do with biology, Jay. That has to do with how they're, because I can give you tell you what most likely happened there. They have been
quickly before you
continue. Yeah, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
I've been quiet most of this conversation.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have been.
And you're saying that I'm being emotional when I was trying to clarify to see.
I see that.
And this person has been going on and off with me, but this is, you don't treat any of the males here like this, but only me.
Correct.
Because of your misogyny. I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm Ugandan here, and I was asking him specifically because we're trying to figure out.
Please don't worry about them. Please don't worry about them. They're gone now.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Leo, you nobody can say that. But the one who they are commenting down is okay, because they never. For me, I have a different perspective from lesbian and gay, but I view if I'm not talking.
Prof, give me 1 second, please. For those of you watching on YouTube, hey everyone. Now, Prof, just a comment on YouTube by Dog says, you should be ashamed because you are ignorant, Prof.
Who said that?
On the YouTube, listening. People are listening on the YouTube, and someone commented that you're speaking from ignorance, and it's quite obvious. So just what I was saying, I spoke with this person and they shared. Now the energy that I gave to them, right, may allow for them to open up to me, right? And they told me, they said, oh, you're such a you're so nice to me. And I asked them, how did you get to this point, right? And they shared how they felt, how it all started, and where they are now. They had come in for corrective surgery. They had gone all the way. They had done the surgery but had a bit of complications, so they came in for the to have it corrected. And this person said to me that when they first had the surgery, just for them to look at themselves on in a mirror, and for once in their life what they always imagined in their head matched with their body, you know. And as the person was speaking, they broke down in tears. And they said to me, for them, it was everything. If things go wrong, because things have now gone wrong, they had a bit of complication. This is, even if things go wrong and it's never sorted out for them ever again, but nobody can take away that feeling, right? For once in their life, they were congruent. For once in their life, everything just fits in. And let me tell you, just listening to this person and just being there in that moment with this person, it did something to me. It changed something in me. And I swore, right, after that conversation, that I would always speak up for anyone who identifies as trans, because it's not about the what you call it now, the agendas. It's not about all the I don't know about your trans, and I don't know, it's an American thing, it's a white man thing. It's about the individual experience. All they want is just to be able to, you know, just live life how they see it. You know, how hard is this for people? How hard can it be? They're already going through so much. They're already, every day they wake up and look in the mirror and they see something that they're not, you know, they don't, you know, it's just, it's a problem. And then the world now makes their life that extra bit harder.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be making life at least a little bit easier. But no, it's I just can't. I can't.
Prof, hang on, Prof.
And I just want to add to the experience of like what the host has said. I don't think people understand about the gender euphoria that people experience. Even in the West here, it's legal. They're legal. They're not going to be. It's not criminalized, and it's still not accepted by everyone. They're not accepted by everyone. Like last weekend when I went to Edinburgh. And I was in a charity shop, and there was this elderly woman, elderly trans woman. She was picking out some skirts, and we just struck up a conversation about like her how she was looking. She was trying to find things that work, and I'm not good at giving fashion advice. I can't give it. But the first at the end of the conversation, she said that thank you for treating me like a human being. I said you do not have to thank me for that, because even in the West, where you think that it's a westernized concept, there's still this infliction of like hatred, and which comes from religion and socialization that people still experience. I was able to strike up this conversation with this person only because she could not come to me because of what she was fearing. I could see the looks around. It's not as if I was unaware, and I cannot imagine how it feels to be in that place where you're just going shopping like any ordinary person, but you fear that you're going to be hate crimed for the fact that you exist.
Yeah, wow.
So I've got two things to say, well, three things maybe. So, Prof, the first question you need to ask yourself, right, and it's an important question, and it's something for you to think about. Why would somebody make a choice to be trans, given how much hatred and vitriol people in the trans community face? Why would they ever just wake up and decide, I'm going to change my gender? The only logical answer to it is they don't. No one is going to willingly put themselves through that much pain, through that much suffering, through that much hate, unless that's what they're supposed to be. The second thing, and you said you're a history teacher or you studied history. So if you look at ancient Mesopotamia and you look at Babylon, right? So gender norms throughout history, we can look back and we can see in ancient Babylon, we had the Asinu and what's the other one called? Kurguru, I think. So they're individuals that are typically assigned male at birth, but so rather than fighting wars, they were doing the more feminine, assumed professions. They served in religious roles.
It's like he's had a phone call.
Yeah, like you had a phone call.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a battery notification, sorry. So these people in ancient Babylon served in religious roles as temple servants. They were believed to have special connections to deities. They were associated with fertility and protection. We can look at ancient Egypt and we see a similar thing. There was cross-dressing in ancient Egypt, where they would typically, so men, for example, would dress in clothing associated with the opposite gender. You see it on tomb walls, right? There's records of this. This isn't by any stretch of the imagination a new thing. It is not a Western ideology being pushed upon you. This has been around for a very, very long time.
And Egypt is part of the African continent.
What is it?
Egypt is an African continent. There are Africans.
Which one you are talking about right now?
Egypt.
Because that one is talking about Babylon is a Mesopotamian story.
No, I said Egypt.
He
said Egypt and Egypt. And Egypt is the African continent. It's part of Africa.
So in Egypt, tell me about Egypt, what you are talking, because I don't understand.
It's going to complicate things. Let's stick to Uganda, where you're from, if that's okay with the host.
Not that I even want to move the conversation along. There's someone who's been waiting. He wants to from a religious point of view. I
can come. I can go down because I have things to do. Thanks so much, everybody.
But Prof.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing conversation, right? No. What I mean is, I think you're somewhat on your way, because you have family member who you reckon were born, was born lesbian, right? So in your case, I still have hope, because at least you're still accepting of the L and the G, right? Maybe not so much the T, but you're getting there.
No. That T will never go inside, my dear. Never. From my perspective, that T will never come.
Oh, wow.
My perspective, please. Don't take it as an offense or anything.
What you have done,
I do take it as offense. You know why? Because you're talking about real Ugandans, the same people that you're talking about wanting to break the colonial ties and colonial influences within Uganda, but then you're unable to recognize that the feelings that you have are both perpetuated by religion, in which you're able to be so uneducated and refuse to deconstruct anything about.
Hold on 1 second.
No, I just want to finish this. And so even when we're trying to hold grace and say that, okay, at least you're aware of your history, at least partially of it, maybe it might be influenced by someone that you care about, that we can appreciate. But for you to say that you do not accept someone because they either...
No, I say T. I follow the sister what he said. T means transgender, whatever.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm disappointed that you're saying that it will never change.
Not be disappointed. It's my opinion, Sissy. It's my opinion.
See, an opinion is like saying that you disagree with me about westernization of like queer people, and or if it's within or if queer people right now in Africa are queer because they're African, but you saying that a person you disagree with their whole existence is not an opinion, but a hindrance of human rights.
I say it. Again, I repeat it. I remember Philip
living in Uganda or who is Ugandan, but because your sister is more socially acceptable because she is binary, she's within the cis-het normative reality that we live in, that we're aware of, where she, even if she does marry a woman, nothing about her changes, and because she's a woman. Because it's trans women that get this type of hate. Because if it's a trans man, they're less likely to be hated on, because they're not therefore harming the women. Because women are seen as these things that need to be protected.
I was needed to learn more. Give me time. I'm doing my research. I will figure out what you mean for transgender, all those things. I will get through because I never even put my head on it.
But
what
Prof,
I put my head on it is a gay and lesbian.
You came up here, right, with, and yes, you're accepting towards gay and lesbian people, and that's great. That's a step in the right direction. Yeah.
No, it's not the right direction. It's what I live. I saw.
Okay, fine. Call it whatever you want. But to us, to everybody else in this panel, they're going to see that as a step in the right direction. What you then did is say that you will never accept the T part. Never. You said you will never accept it. So we've tried to talk to you, and I've tried to be really fucking courteous to you for the most part.
I feel it is a mental illness.
Fine. And that, you know what?
That's my problem now. Can we stop being polite? Because if you're going, if you didn't say any of these words, the words like mental illness, never accept, we could have courtesy towards you, but you're not being courteous towards us. Because what you're saying, you're talking about respect and you wouldn't use certain words, but calling someone's existence a mental illness, you don't see a problem with that.
Can I just quickly say something? I can see Cameron Swan, I blocked you because of how you were towards Leo. Yeah, and now I can see you over on my YouTube saying Afro's moderators are horrible and lowering her views on TikTok.
Really?
There's the reason why you're saying that, because you were. I blocked you myself. I did that. Right? So please, I would urge you, be careful, right?
Yeah.
Moderators on YouTube, please just put an eye on that.
We've all tried to be courteous to you. We've tried to explain why we have the viewpoints that we have, and we've tried to go some way to helping you understand our viewpoints. And what you have just done is throw up a huge brick wall and close your mind to any further possibility by saying, I will never accept T. You have just proven that for all the conversation we've had, you are closed-minded and you are not willing to budge on your position for whatever reason, like you said, you think it's a mental illness. That's your opinion. You can have that. I'm never going to tell you you can't have an opinion. You can have that opinion, but that opinion is stopping you from looking at this at other angles. It's stopping you from educating yourself.
Right. Let me. I'll take him down and then bring up. Yeah, this is someone who's been here before, but my goodness, it goes on and on and on.
Guys,
not Lebza. Simon, I'm going to be done shortly, right?
Yeah, no, I was just going to apologize for my outburst earlier because it's uncharacteristic of me, but I lost my temper.
What outburst?
Well, when him and the other guy, I forgot his name.
When did that happen? Was I here?
Yeah. Well,
was I here?
I for me, it's not outburst what you said. You didn't really outburst. Like how he was getting really peeved at one point.
It's uncharacteristic of me to lose my cool. So
yeah, but sometimes some things you have to lose your cool for. Some things you have to. But I understand.
Can I just say how heartbreaking it is for me. So we've been on this for over 2 hours, right?
2 hours, yeah.
Talking with that gentleman, he came up within minutes of me starting this, and you know, to hear him, in fact, he actually surprised all, you know, but then to now be hung up on the tea. Wait, so would it take for someone in his family, right, to come out as tea for him to be accepting of it? Is that what it's going to take? Right? Because now he's accepting because someone in his family is born, for you to now be accepting of tea, right? So I mean, the people, I don't know.
And to say mental illness, you have to, there's a certain criteria to that are used to determine whether or not somebody has a mental illness. And just to say because you don't agree or that is for you, it's not natural, that is a mental illness. No, because somebody can come and then say, but your sister has a mental illness too because she has these feelings towards someone else. And that is not a mental, none of them are mental illness. It is the same way the brain states again, the feelings. People tend to forget that the brain is chemical interactions, and people have the feelings that they feel is the brain providing certain emotions, and to just say that it can't be that trans can't be that is wrong.
There's a question. There's a question for you in chat, Phil.
Yeah.
So Evangelist Gola is asking, does this mean that not every trans person doesn't have gender dysphoria?
Have gender dysphoria, not all. But
see, the assumption is a lot of people believe that all trans people suffer with some form of what you call it now, gender dysphoria, right? So I think what she's asking is, are you saying that there's some trans people who don't suffer with gender?
I don't know if
I
all
can
do.
kind of answer that if you would like.
Yeah.
Brighton is kind of answering it in the chats, but gender dysphoria is not specific to the fact that you have transitioned, but rather how you feel affirmed within your own identity. So if, for example, biology has kind of been in their favor in that sense that they're able to feel like the way that they look or the way that they do present, it's not constrained by norms that have already been placed in them, or like filters. In BPD we call it filters, things that you've been told. So the scripts that you say in your head, if they do not have kind of a barrier already by how you've grown up, then it's easier.
Can I just acknowledge Evangelist Bola, right? When I first met her, I listened to some of her talking points when it came to trans, and I was like, yikes, oh. But it looks like she's trying to educate herself. She's trying to get to the point where she understands this thing, and this is the attitude that I appreciate. Hey, Sadiq. Sadiq, are you there?
I don't know if he was trying to speak and it was coming through. Like a he might have
Yeah, his net. It does show that his network
is bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to speak to anyone who says my Bible says. I mean, that's someone I would, you know. Oh, Ian Davenport, good night. I see you, Ian. Good night. Right.
Hi, Ian.
If there's nobody going to Sadiq, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Ah, right. Okay. So, Sadiq.
Yeah.
What will happen to an LGBT person if they die and they are LGBT, according to your religion?
Okay, so according to my religion, we don't have anything like LGBTQ or plus something. All we have and all we know is there is only two gender in existence, and this was acknowledged for as long as humanity exists until just now. And
no.
Does he keep cutting out for other people?
Yes.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, he's cutting out. Yeah, we hear you now. Again.
Sadiq, were you in the chat when I was speaking to Prof about ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt?
I think his
Hi guys. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sadiq.
We can hear you now.
Can't keep dropping. Oh, bro.
Yeah, I think his internet keeps dying.
He might need to drop down and then come back on.
You know, when I hear when I hear those kind of talk, when I hear the, okay, go on, Sadiq.
And he
Yeah.
is gone again.
What I'm saying is, in Islam, there is nothing like LGBTQ or something. Yeah.
Okay. Which is fine. I mean, that just goes to show that the Quran is outdated. It needs updating to fit into today's culture, how we all identify as people. Because back in those days, maybe whoever wrote the Quran only saw people as male and female, or I don't know, man, woman. Guys, you must understand. I'm still trying to understand what is gender, which one is sex, which is gender. I get it all mixed up in my head. Anyway, so whoever wrote the Quran didn't know that there were nuances when it came to sex and sexuality. For them, it was black and white. You know, you're either this or you're that. So probably they didn't know. But now we know that it's not black and white. So,
you know, it is not, yeah.
So that means that the Quran is outdated.
Debates is they always go, this is a new thing. They always say this is a new thing. When my book was written, this didn't exist. And we know for a fact it existed earlier than your book was written.
That's right.
Like, we've got record of it.
Yeah.
And it comes down to education. And I always say, you know, my whole thing is to have a civil conversation with somebody and try to show them the knowledge that exists out there. If you look outside of your book, which you swear by, and you look at the real world, you will find this information.
Exactly. And this is why I particularly have a problem with religious books, because who's going to update these books? Who's going to change? And you know, the bad thing about most of these is that they even have laws in them that say thou must not ban day, and people are still guided by books that are not relevant to the human experience as we see it now, you know. So that's why I struggle with religion.
And in the Quran, the thing is, it acknowledges.
But then when you speak to the Christians, oh goodness, they would try and try and try. They would never acknowledge that, look, this is beyond my my expertise. This is the thing. But rather they will try and fit a square peg in a round hole. They would try even when it's not fitting.
So the thing with most religions is people don't read the fucking books. Like, and at least Islamic people will generally be humble enough to say, I don't know that. I'd have to go check it out. I have to go speak to somebody or research it. Christians don't even do that. They just go, it's in my book. And you go, where? And they go, I don't know. Most Christians have never read the Bible. And if they've read the Bible, they've read one version of the Bible.
Well, Simon,
versus
yeah.
here and there.
Simon, can I tell you something about my Bible experience, right? When I was a Christian, and when I would read the Bible, Simon, I could read one passage, right? And get a different meaning to it. Come back next week, read the exact same passage and get a completely different meaning. Or there are times when I would read the Bible, I've read it, right? I've read this particular passage before. But when I go and look at it, I'm like, hang on, when did this turn up in this Bible? I've never seen this before. For some odd reason, it just seems as though, somebody just inserted it in there. I didn't see it, So I don't know if that happened to just me or if anybody else had that same experience. But that was my experience as a Christian. You open the books and you just always find something new that you never saw in there, even though you've read it. That's why you will. You get Christians who tell you. Christians will tell you, "Oh, the Bible doesn't condone slavery. There's nothing about slavery in my book." No, it's not there.
Exactly.
Then when you now read it to them, you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And then you hear indentured servitude.
Yeah.
As the excuse.
But they experience racism too. It's whatever suits them, whatever helps them avert any
sleep at night.
Yeah.
Whatever helps them sleep at night.
Yep. Racism's a dicey subject at the best of times. Like it's one of those things that gets people heated. Like no matter what your race is, like there are people experience it at different levels, right? But I think everyone is generally possibly the victim of racism.
I disagree about experiencing it at certain levels, because by definition of what racism is, it's systemic, meaning that it has to be firstly made by system, but also adverted by a certain power, to have a power within a society. You can be prejudiced, yes, I do agree with that.
Leo, can a black person be racist?
Racist to who? Like to a white person, or will come off as disagreement? I think prejudice. I don't disagree that there is prejudice in which you judge someone because they are white, because of this, but nothing that I do as a black person will hinder this person. Hence, what makes it racism. That's where I disagree.
So you approach it from a like societal standpoint rather than person A talking to person B specifically, right? You're saying like from a systematic point of view.
Yeah, because systemic comes from history, and we've seen historically the reason why there's this hate, like this prejudice towards white people now, because you have the space, like with trauma, when you finally have the space to feel the traumatic experiences you've had, whether that's passed down generations, it will come whether you want it or not. You can't just heal something because intellectually you're understanding why it's happened. Your body needs to also heal it. It needs to heal in the same time. So I understand that people do use excuses to be prejudiced towards white people, but it's not systemic. So I respectfully disagree that it is racism.
I see where you're coming from, but then I'm just thinking about a scenario. Okay, so hypothetically, Leo, just hypothetically now, right? So just assume a community where they're predominantly Black people, right? And you have there's a handful of white people who are who live below the poverty line, and they're not in power at all, right? And then in turn sidelining them because of their race. Would you say then that the Black people are racist? Hypothetically, now, I'm not saying this is.
Yeah, I think this happens in real life as well, where if you grow up in a predominantly Black area, but I think why to paint a more picture is that the reason why it's an underdeveloped city where it's overly policed, the overt and covert racism that within that society, those individuals who are white are sidelined because of the fact that they still gain within that system, like being that they will not be stopped and searched, or have the sus laws applied on them in which they are hurt, in which where they're at risk of being unalived. They don't face this from systemic. I think Simon did say that it's with it, like when speaking about relation, no individual can hold up a system. No individuals who have no power within the global society can hold up a system enough for it to affect an individual and what they get. Even in South Africa, with the tensions, the ethnic tensions, white people still do not. There is no apartheid against white people. That's what I mean. So for me, I still do not think it's racism. It's prejudice. Yes. Whether it's right or wrong, it depends on these are I think it's like people who are nationalists. they think that they're doing it for the right reasons, where they think that it's us against them, that this group of people are the reasons why I don't have a job, and this is what I don't get. So they're xenophobic. So if Black people feel that way towards white people within that community, like for example, that they're getting better opportunities in a saturated place where they're already pushed into that area, then that is the prejudice.
The other thing is, okay, let's leave white people out of this conversation now, right? Example, right? I'm going to give you an example of just a few Black people I've had conversation with, and they will say things like, "Oh, those Indians, those Indian people, they're this," or those there's the P word. There's a P word here in the UK that you're not allowed to say. When you're referring to people from that region,
India,
and so
people who are from Pakistan and
yes,
India.
yes. So now, could the Black people be racist towards brown people?
I mean, I do see it as a form of microaggression, which can be linked to racism because they are an ethnic minority. Now, the type of racism, I think it's still different in terms of the type of the system. And I'm not trying to say that, only white people are the only ones who can't experience any hate. But I'm saying if we're looking at it by definition, that is prejudice. But Black people can be either extremely prejudiced towards Southeast Asians, or we have like internalized racist views that are harmful, because it is harmful.
It is harmful, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But there's no but we still see, like in this cases, like the derogatory terms that come, like calling people who are from Pakistan come from the white people in England. It was then and then it's also Black people who go onto it as well, because it's like oppression Olympics. I don't like that word, but I can't think of anything else where you think that, I'm going to treat them worse because I think I'm better than them in my place of oppression.
Okay.
So it's like internalized hate as well.
Okay, interesting. Well, guys, why I like these kind of conversations is we can respectfully disagree, right? And we don't have to. We don't have to be at each other.
Yeah.
You know something? I haven't heard you speak on this subject at all when it comes to the LGBT. I want to know what are your
I mean, I'm a big fan of everybody have a choice. You do what you want. So with them, it's the same thing. It doesn't change. They have a choice. Them. I have a little problem with religious people. These religious people are the main people that are kind of pushing for them to be for these laws not to be pushed. But then I ask myself, why? Why? And then they go into the biblical books and quote whatever they have to quote for.
Oh my gosh. Not Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, there was a whole lot of.
I mean, both Phil and Raskillo tried so hard to be nice to Prof. He did not get. He was not called out on like his fallacies quick enough. I think he should appreciate.
Yeah.
He says he's not really. He is as what a lot of people don't have, as a member of the community right there in his home.
Yeah.
But still has his. Oh man.
Especially with the trans issue. Trans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's not that you can't find out surprise if he's an actual professor, why he would not go and research it online, because there's the information is there, the research is there online, and the nuances in relation to it. And there is a book that I am listening to, written by a biologist, ecologist, ecologist. It's called Evolution's Rainbow, and they defend the whole scheme of living things, including mammals. You have, it is not as straightforward. That's why I was trying to tell him it's not as straightforward. Why he's talking about artificial and so on, it's not straightforward as he think it is, male, female, that's it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's intersex, there's right. Have female, and some females have some what they call male plumbing. It is not straightforward, and this is what you will expect from evolution. For evolution occurring.
Yes.
Right? Evolution is not agency. Right? So you say that those trans is a mental. Come on. You should not even be using that term, because there's certain criteria that psychologists and psychiatrists use in different parts of the world, have this have different criteria for diagnosing someone as with a mental illness. They're not.
Phil, can I don't know. This is just my opinion. My opinion is that who is exactly 100% free of any mental issue?
Yeah.
Who is exactly free? You know, at some point in our lives, we will go through some mental disturbance, mental issue. You understand?
And then through not only that, but people, because of society and because of minority, remember, people got to forget this black and white thinking, especially when it comes to biology and talking about physiology. It's on a curve, right? You might have the average person or majority of people falling within the top of the belt, right? That part of the belt. Then you have going outwards fewer who are in that portion. But they're still human beings. Everybody's still human beings, but you can have these I don't like to even use the exception to the rule. The exceptions to the average that is not and within that average part of the curve. And sometimes as human beings, and especially that's why I was asking him if he did biology, and I was going to ask him if he did biology from A level upwards, because a person that has done A level biology and above will not make certain statements that he said, and they will know, right? So, and then to use the word artificial, it's not artificial. So, just let's say someone had a kidney transplant, that's artificial. Or had to have their womb removed, that is artificial.
That's the thing, Phil. See, thoughts, right? There's not a lot of critical thinking that goes into most of these conversations. You know, when people start talking about the subject, and everyone and their mother wants to talk about the trans, and this, you know, it's like, you know, the things, and that's why platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and places like this are very, very, very useful, because it gets people engaging in conversation that they otherwise would never have engaged.
Never have, yes.
So,
but the thing is that at least you have to learn to be honest. When you're having these conversations, you have to be honest. And you know, and if you don't know, say you don't know.
yes.
Right. But don't be bigoted. Don't be putting down people. You're here to learn. If you really want to learn, you don't have that knowledge. Yeah.
When he was asked why about science, he says he sometimes
something like that. I was about to say that as
so
I was like, huh?
What are the occasions where you don't accept science?
And he did not answer that. He did not answer that. He avoided.
He did. He said science does not define death.
Oh yes. And then when I asked what does he mean by that, no good answer was given. My case, I don't. What I heard was not a good answer. He didn't give any good answer.
I don't know what science is supposed to define death as. I don't know what is science supposed to.
But science defines death. That's when and it all varies from different organism to organism.
Decomposition,
the cessation of life. And when we talk about living things, all living things breathe, respire. They're about 8, and usually they adopt about 7 out of the 8 things.
Right.
For all something to be living, it has to have at least 7 out of the 8. And usually, sometimes the 8th one, the breathing, they don't really always consider in some science books. Breathing is just an exchange of gases, and all living things do exchange gases. So breathing is in there. So when these things stop, that is when you have basically biological death.
No, sorry. Apparently, he said we should go on his page to go and find out. Oh goodness.
Oh gosh, man. Because I realized that he doesn't really fully understand science. And for his answer that you only say sometimes he does not understand the scientific method. Because it's not a sometimes thing. The scientific method is the best.
Myself, I wouldn't know anything. I don't know anything about science, right?
Yeah.
But I can appreciate, because I don't know science doesn't mean that and come and say, oh, but science doesn't define this and science doesn't define.
Yeah.
I would go and see what is science saying about this.
Okay, correct. Like what you did.
And when you say science, what area of science are you talking about? Because it has several branches to it.
Branches, yeah.
Branches to it. So what's scientific what area are you talking about? What, if you know what I mean?